Whatever the workplace, regular safety inspections are an important part of identifying hazards and reducing injuries. In fact, they are required by law. And although every workplace is different, the basic steps for conducting an effective safety inspection are the same. A safety inspection is a physical or procedural inspection of the workplace with the goal of recognizing, assessing, and eliminating or controlling hazards. There are two kinds of inspections. Informal inspections are done every day, with workers, supervisors, and managers reporting on hazards they notice while going about their daily routines. Formal inspections, on the other hand, are planned and scheduled and involve tools and training to identify potential hazards. In this video, we are focusing on formal inspections. Formal safety inspections conducted by the Workplace Safety and Health Committee, or representative, are performed at a minimum of every 90 days. The idea is to find problems before they become incidents. Some inspections need to be done more often than others, like pre-use equipment checks. Depending on the type of inspection, it might have to be conducted before use, when issued, when serviced, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or annually. So when deciding how often inspections need to be done, consider things like the recommendations of equipment manufacturers, industry and regulatory standards, incident investigation and first aid reports, hazards at the workplace, hazardous work processes and areas, and safe work procedures. First thing you'll want to do is identify what will be inspected, which work areas, equipment, tools, procedures, practices, and so forth. Who will be conducting the inspection and how frequently? You will want to determine what inspection records will be created and who will follow up on any corrective actions required. A checklist is a tool that can be used to assist in your inspection. Remember, a checklist is only a guide. Identify the items and areas inspected. Include a place to record and rate hazards and to identify recommendations for corrective action. And keep copies of inspection reports and checklists so that corrective actions can be tracked. A big part of conducting an effective inspection is preparation. For physical inspections, you should have personal protective equipment appropriate to the hazards in the workplace, a clipboard, sketch paper, pens, a flashlight, a tape measure, and a camera. You will also want information on chemicals and equipment in the area, past incident and investigation reports so you can review specific concerns, employee complaint reports, safety and health committee recommendations, previous inspections so you can identify repeat conditions, maintenance reports, procedures and schedules, any consultant monitoring reports, and background research as required. A block diagram of the area and route for the inspection is another helpful tool. You may need to draw on other resources from inside or outside the workplace, including manufacturers, suppliers, and other experts. Be sure you list the names of everyone involved as part of your inspection. Think of an inspection in terms of safe work. You want to spot the hazard, assess the risk, find a safer way, every day. Let's identify what a hazard is. A hazard is a workplace situation or condition capable of causing an unwanted release of energy or environmental condition that could result in physical harm, psychological or health concerns, and possibly property damage. That includes anything that can potentially cause an injury, such as falls, pinch points, sharp edges, moving machinery, dropping items or slips and trips, repetitive movements, chemical or biological substances. So when looking for hazards, you will need to look at physical agents, which include any energy strong enough to cause harm. Chemical hazards such as acids, solvents, minerals, pesticides, or detergents. Look for WHMIS and consumer labels on the products to assess the risk. Biological hazards such as viruses, bacteria, parasites, or blood-borne pathogens. Risk for musculoskeletal injuries caused by vibration, repetitive movements, awkward or sustained posture, or forceful exertion. Psychosocial hazards that might include the rigors of shift work, harassment, violence, or other stress. Next, let's assess the risk. Risk is the likelihood or possibility of hazardous consequences. So in assessing risk, you're evaluating the level of risk associated with a hazard. You can evaluate risk according to 3 factors. Severity: how seriously people, workers, or property could be harmed or lost. Frequency: how often is a worker exposed to a hazard. Probability: the likelihood of an injury occurring. One of the easiest ways to evaluate risk is by ranking those factors on a 1 to 10 scale. Add those together and you'll have the critical rating. The higher the critical rating, the more urgent the need to address the hazard. Now it's time to find a safer way. When it comes to inspections, finding a safer way includes examining hazard control choices at the source, along the path, and at the worker level. When finding a safer way at the source, possible solutions you should explore are elimination, substitution, redesign, isolation, or automation. Along the path, potential solutions might be relocation, adding barriers, absorption, or dilution. At the worker level, solutions might include making changes to administrative controls, such as safe work procedures and policies, orientation, training, and supervision, safe work procedures, the emergency plan, housekeeping, and hygiene practices. Personal protective equipment should be used as a last resort. After you've evaluated and implemented controls, it's important those controls are used every day to reduce risks. Be methodical and thorough. Plan your walkthrough route ahead of time. Hazards can be located anywhere, so be sure to inspect everywhere. When inspecting an area, engage the workers from the area to determine if they have any concerns. Don't operate equipment yourself. Ask the operator for a demonstration. Inspect equipment when in operation and when turned off. You may need to inspect at different times to see both situations. When you come across a hazard, carefully describe the hazard and its exact location. Documentation is critical to inspections. And use your best judgment when recording potential hazards. Call attention to anything you think poses an immediate danger. Defective tools or machinery need to be taken out of service and locked out, and the employer or supervisor must be notified. Debrief with the area supervisor about the hazards or deficiencies found. It is the employer's responsibility to ensure all identified hazards are corrected in a timely manner. Make sure your records include notes about follow-up to ensure the work is completed, how work was made safer for workers, and feedback from the workers on how things have changed. This has been a broad discussion about safety inspections, but to find out more or to get additional resources that can help you conduct effective safety inspections, visit safemanitoba.com.